Hey everybody, Alex Anselme here, and this is the rematch of match against Hugo. I posted a match we played the other day, and we actually played back-to-back days, so this was the following day, but just didn't get around to posting this yet. Just thought it'd be interesting because the first video we kind of talked about what we're looking at and how find ways to improve or learn from your practice matches, and so here we're trying to see if any of that can be actually put into action. So, in the last match for me, what stood out was that my forehand was very erratic. And, that's where I made a lot of errors. So the goal here, and you can see actually in this point, the goal here was going to be to not, go for so much and just try and, grind it out a little bit more, which is, generally a pretty sound tactic. I mean, it's not a bad idea to grind some points here and there when you have the fitness levels, when you have the physique to be able to do that. I have a bad knee, so it's hard for me to rely a little bit too much on the fitness factor. But from time to time, if you can do it, then great. I don't want to have to rely solely on fitness or grinding for 2 hours, 3 hours the whole time. But you got to do it sometimes, right? And there, I'm trying to keep that ball in play. I don't like that slice backhand error. That's just, I made one in the other match as well too. Just one, and there's one each match. But that's, I don't like those kinds of errors. So again, he's just putting the pressure on. But I'm happy I held serve at least to start this match, because the last one, he started serving and I got broken in the first game. I actually got bageled in the first set in the last match that I played. So this is a better start. This time I started serving and he was a little bit close there. He got down left 30 in my first service game and he was dictating play quite a bit, but managed to pull that game out. And, now we're in a decent position here to be able to hold a second time. So that's a ball. A lot of times I'd go down the line with that forehand, but, you can see I was just not really too much confidence right now. I mean, obviously I don't practice or play too much. This is more just for fun, for the pleasure. But obviously it's always nice to get a little competitive match from time to time. But hey, for now, whatever. We haven't had to do too much, but we're holding serve, so we're happy with that. And Hugo's continuing to play pretty well. Hitting a lot of winners, dictating a lot of play. There comes another ace. So not getting too many looks for right now in terms of getting into his service games. And you can see why, when the serve is placed like that, coming that fast, it's pretty hard to do much, okay? So we've gotten to 2-all. And, you can see here, okay, now I'm stepping in, I'm going forward. In the first game, you saw there, I had a similar shot, but I decided to stay back there. I decided to change it up, not to be too passive, to actually, step in and come to the net behind that one, which was seemingly the right play. Here again, though, I'm being, Hugo's dictating the points, even though I'm the one serving, so that's not a great situation. And you can see that point right there. It pressured me for the next one, and I went for it too early and missed that forehand, and now I miss another forehand. So you can see there's those 2 errors right there, but those were really caused probably by the point before that where, Hugo was really just pushing me around and really dictating. And you can see, so here I get broken. And, really what that comes down to, if you watch the game, I know I edit out when first serves are missed, but there were a lot of second serves in that game. And you can see I didn't really get any free points or very much off of my serve. And that allowed Hugo to just dictate the whole time, and then he gets the break of serve. So, I had a look at one ball there when he came to the net earlier in the game. And those are the looks you have to capitalize on, because after that, when the serves are coming in big, it's, you don't really get that many more looks on the ball. So you got to do what you can when the opportunity's there, Anyways, here trying to just keep it within one break. But again, a couple errors coming off the racket pretty early in the point. Nice when we can always get a well-placed serve like that. And that's what we need a little bit more of right there. These are the kinds of points. Well, maybe not there. The finish was a little sloppy. It was a decent passing shot, but either way. you know, there, whatever. He's just hitting a winner right off of me. I mean, there's not much you could do there. There was some good and some bad in that game. Overall here, though, now he's up 5-2 serving, so really quick. Just sneak a couple points away really fast and, you know, get back into, see if we can maybe just try and hold on. It'd be hard to come back from 2 breaks down to be able to win this set, but obviously, you know, you're not thinking about just right now. You're thinking about later on, and there Hugo's got a little focus error, and you know, gets down low 40 pretty quick, plays a pretty loose game. So I got to break a serve. It wasn't the prettiest, you know. I had to come up with a good passing shot in the end there, but sometimes that's the way it goes. And so, you know, if you can just hold serve the whole time and every once in a while sneak out a few little games like that, that's all the difference that it's going to take, really. So you know, there he's going for it. Okay, so that was important, you know, to keep that depth on the ball, because if he's a little bit more inside the court, I'm watching that ball go by for a winner. But if I can keep him behind the baseline there like that, dictating a little bit as well, playing a little bit more on my terms now, and you know, that was a quick 8 points in a row to make it back to 5-4. But you know, obviously at this level, it's gonna be pretty hard to make 2 breaks in a row, and you know, that's a pretty generous error from my opponent right there. And this right here is the moment where I lose this set, in my opinion. I had it there, it's on my racket, I'm dictating play with the forehand, but that's just, you know, you're not match tough, lack of practice, lack of timing, lack of confidence, and those shots, they don't go in. You miss them instead. So that happens, and then, you know, there's nothing you can do. Then there are no looks on anything. You can't do anything. And there goes the first set. And, you know, first point of the second set, he hits a winner by me. Second point, I'm serving and I'm still running after the ball, and he's dictating the play right off of the return of serve. So here, try a little change up, go down the line instead of cross court. Works out okay. I get into a good position, and I'm able to finish off the point. So I like that slice backhand down the line to start that point. That was a good change up. He wasn't too ready for it. But there again, another big return. Another big return right there. And these are all second serves. So again, this is why first serve percentage comes in, is pretty important. Okay. There I get my own second serve attack, allowing me to, you know, get that first point. And, you know, there's a forehand. You know, I'm glad I get the error, but I'm you know, I'm actually, yeah, that's kind of a pleasant surprise idea, that other forehand, because I didn't go for very much. I played it rather conservatively and still got the error. So those are the kinds of shots we like to see. That's really what kind of tennis I like to play. You know, you got to go for it. I don't have that luxury, like I said, because of my knee and my fitness levels not really being up to par. You know, I've got to create the action rather quickly, you know, kind of fall into that first strike kind of tennis style of play, where I don't necessarily really want to have to extend the points out too long. Against Hugo, it's kind of a good idea for me, because he's the one who's going to go for a lot more, and so if I can keep the ball in play, keep it deep, I could potentially squeeze an error out of him. And it could go in my favor if the points are longer, but at the same time, if that keeps going on if that just keeps going on and on and on and on, I know that I can't maintain that. So I can't rely just solely on, you know, playing it I like to think of it as like Andy Murray kind of, you know, when he made the difference between being a top 10 player and being like, you know, top 3, top 4. Really what changed was just his fitness level, and the guy just started, you know, running after every single ball and just bringing every single ball back in play, very rarely taking any risks, just wearing down the opponent, you know. And that is kind of the most common strategy and type of player that you're going to find in tennis, because it's hard to be a shot maker, you know. Those players a la Roger don't come around too often, and it's a little bit more difficult, we'll say, to play tennis like that. You know, obviously minimizing the risks in the ways that Djokovic, Nadal, Murray, those kinds of players do, is pretty effective of a game plan in tennis, you know. I play I mean, ideally for me, because I don't really play too much, but ideally for me, I'm going to play a little bit more of an aggressive game, you know, a la Roger, a la Stan Wawrinka, you know, where we try and have weapons, we try and create some damage with the forehand, we try and come to the net, put some pressure, finish the points at the net, see what we can get out of our serve, throw in that little serve and volley every once in a while, why not, because we can volley okay. But, you know, the serve and volley is proving a pretty difficult play to do these days. I mean, you can see here I am trying to come in again, but, you know, these guys return so well that it's pretty hard to get yourself in a favorable position when you're coming forward off of the serve. Unless, obviously, you've got these big serves, which is why I never understood players like Andy Roddick, John Isner, Marty Fish, a lot of these American players, right? A lot of these guys with the big serve, big forehand. It's good to have that. I just don't understand why, I don't know, maybe not like 10% of the time more they didn't serve and volley more often. I mean, you have a kick serve like John Isner's and you don't serve and volley off of it, you're kind of allowed the returner to just, you know, loop a ball back if they can, which is what a lot of players do nowadays. They stand really far back behind the baseline and just try and get that return back in play. So serve and volley is a great way to kind of punish that, but, you know, you got to have a pretty big serve too, you know. I've made a video on how to vary your kick serve and how to just use variety and placement to kind of throw your opponent off guard when you're serving, because I'm one of those players who needs to use that. I can't just come out and overpower you and, you know, just blast aces by you on average of like 1 to 2 aces a game. So we got to find other ways to be able to make our serve a little bit tricky for the opponent to return. Okay. So there's another backhand down the line. I didn't pick up as much as I maybe should have or would have liked to, that my backhand down the line was working well for me and winning a lot of points for me during the match. That's the advantage sometimes of taking video of your matches, going back, watching over it. Sometimes you go back over it and you watch over it, you take the stats and you look for certain things in particular. You know, in this case, I'm sure if I go back, I'm going to see that I have a pretty high percentage of points won when I actually end up going down the line with my backhand, right? A few times I get, it's a little bit questionable whether I force him into error or if you can still consider it an unforced error, but a couple of times he makes some forehand errors off of my backhand down the line. There was that slice backhand down the line as well, which set up a good opening for me to attack onto the backhand on the next shot after, earlier in the first set, if you recall. So, yeah, that'll be something to be noted. Maybe next time I go up against Hugo, I'll be thinking to look a lot more to be going down the line there with the backhand. All right, because he is sitting a little bit on protecting his backhand wing and expecting a backhand to come back cross court and maybe hoping to be able to run around. So that backhand down the line is a good play to catch him off guard and get him off balance. But you know, there, yeah, just struggling and a few too many errors coming off the racket in the end. And, you know, 6-4, 6-3 is more respectable than last time, but, you know, that's still pretty dominant performance from his end. So a lot of work for us still to do if we want to come back and win this. See everybody on the next video.